No mai, haere mai, ma loi lele. Welcome to 3 News. The inflation rate has ticked up again to a 12-month high of 2.7%. The biggest contributor, rising council rates, which the Finance Minister says she has her eye on. Political correspondent Zane Small reports.
Wellington City Council's $2.3 million splurge on this new toilet block with rainbow lights, cited by the Minister of Finance to justify a possible cap on local council rates.
And we need to make sure that they don't take a rates cap as an excuse to do more rainbow toilets and less fixing of the pipes.
Statistics New Zealand's inflation update today showed council rates increased by 12.5% in the 12 months to June, the largest contributor to the overall annual inflation rate of 2.7%. That followed a 2.5% increase in the previous quarter.
We are exploring rates caps because the reality is councils actually have a number of tools they can use to raise finance to get funding for development.
The big reason why rates have gone up is because councils have to reinvest in their water infrastructure. We had a plan for that.
It's not just rates. Food prices increased by 4.6% in the 12 months to June. Half a kilogram of butter is advertised at a low price of $8.50 at the supermarket. Rental prices increased by 3.2%, though that's the smallest annual increase in 4 years. The price of electricity also shot up by 8.4%.
Low users are now paying a higher daily fixed charge than they were last quarter. We have also seen that there's been an increase in the amount that lines companies are allowed to pass on to the retailers.
The data coincides with a new report from Child Poverty Action Group that says rent, food and utilities now swallow 62 to 98% of disposable income for beneficiary families and over 60% for full-time minimum wage workers.
The cost of living challenge hasn't gone away, particularly for middle and low income households.
But there does appear to be some relief for households. The cost of early childhood education was down 22.8%, according to the inflation update. It captured the government's Family Boost scheme, which provides a tax refund to parents. However, Craig Rennie from the Council of Trade Unions reckons it's not an accurate representation.
It's based upon some calculations the government made back in September last year, so it's not real. That makes the inflation figures look smaller than they actually really are by about 0.1%.
The government recently widened the settings for Family Boost after admitting uptake had fallen well short of its original estimates.
We've taken an estimate in terms of what was expected to be claimed for the Family Boost rebate.
Inflation was offset by cheaper petrol, down 8% in the year to June. It helped to keep the inflation rate within the Reserve Bank's target of between 1% and 3%.
Minister, if it wasn't for a drop in petrol prices, inflation wouldn't be within the Reserve Bank's target band. Does that worry you?
That's exactly what I'm acknowledging, which is there are external pressures on inflation which we need to remain vigilant about. We can't take under control inflation for granted.
That's why a possible rates cap is being considered to flush that problem away.
Okay, Zane, is a decision on any rates cap imminent?
Well, it doesn't look like it. We're told it will be sometime before the end of the year. Local Government Minister Simon Watts of the National Party is looking into how a rates cap could be applied. There are some states in Australia that do it. I asked the Prime Minister this afternoon if National's coalition partners ACT and New Zealand First are on board with a rates cap, but he said it hadn't been discussed at Cabinet yet, so don't expect an announcement anytime soon. But the government will be very mindful that not only are households facing rising council rates, but also high prices for food and rent and electricity, all the essentials. And when people are struggling to afford the basics, that puts a limit on discretionary spending and ultimately limits growth. So the consensus among economists seems to be that despite inflation going up again, the Reserve Bank will likely cut the official cash rate next month because there is still spare capacity in the economy.
Zane Small, thanks for the update.